Greetings, esteemed masters. I am pleased to see you all again. Welcome back to our class on the various force orders of the galaxy. For those of you who have not yet met me, I am Master Drakus. Today, we are going to be discussing a mysterious, xenophobic group of force users, one which we sadly know far too little about. This organization of reclusive monks grows organic, living starships, and they were responsible for helping to train Jason Solo, he who would become Darth Kaitis. I am referring, of course, to the Aing-Tii Monks. The Aing-Tii hail from a homeworld somewhere near the Kathol Rift. The Kathol Rift is a vast nebula that stretches across the Kathol sector, one so thick and vast that it makes navigation through hyperspace extremely difficult throughout the area. The Aing-Tii themselves are 2-meter-tall, toothless mammals. They are covered in thick, bony plates and have 6 long tongues that protrude around the tip of their snout. The Aing-Tii are incapable of producing sound and instead communicate through a combination of pheromones, body language, and tasting one another. They paint the bony plates around their bodies in strange symbols and glyphs which are unknown anywhere else in Alliance or Jedi records. Unfortunately, I can say no more than that. The location of their homeworld is a closely guarded secret, and the monks have never been forthcoming about it. They rarely interact with the wider galaxy, showcasing a xenophobia that keeps them almost always hidden away behind the Kathol Rift. They do not trade with outside species, they do not seek to establish embassies, nor do they wish to partake in the wider Galactic Alliance. We do not know if the Aing-Tii Monks speak for their entire species, or if they are an independent group which roams the Kathol Rift. Even when Aing-Tii ships are spotted, they almost always fail to respond to any attempt at communication. At this point, you may be asking yourself, well, what exactly do we know then? Most of the information that we have on the Aing-Tii comes from 2 sources, George Kardas and Talon Card. Both men were smugglers and businessmen who found themselves involved with the Aing-Tii through circumstances which go beyond the purview of this lesson. These circumstances, however, led to Kardas living for many years among the Aing-Tii and learning their ways. Card later encountered the Aing-Tii when they saved him from a fleet of slavers. He learned more about them when he reunited with his old friend Kardas, and indeed Kardas' account was passed to us through our friend Talon, which at last brings us to the Aing-Tii Monks themselves. The Aing-Tii seem to absolutely despise slavers, which as mentioned proved most beneficial to Mr. Card. The monks will go out of their way to destroy any slaver that ventures too close to the Kathol Rift, and this is a feat that they can pursue with ease. I believe I've mentioned that the Aing-Tii grow organic starships. The exact process they use to do so is unknown, but we have some images of the vessels here. They tend to be around 300 meters long and ovoid in shape, covered in thick, bony plates and asymmetrical nodular protrusions. They are almost always painted in the same esoteric symbols as the Aing-Tii themselves. No 2 vessels are alike, and in many ways, they are almost like living works of art. The Aing-Tii seem to establish a symbiotic relationship with their starships. Each one has a crew of roughly 100 Aing-Tii, and those rare few individuals who are invited aboard have reported strange behavior. They encountered doors which seemed to open in correspondence with the Aing-Tii's thoughts, and other signs that the ship and the crew were linked beyond the physical world. These vessels are known as Sanhedrin ships, and they seem to shrug off heavy turbolaser fire as if it was nothing. They deployed potent beam weapon technology which shears through shields like paper, and these beam weapons have been recorded neatly bisecting ships several times. Finally, the Aing-Tii do not use hyperspace to travel. The exact nature of their engine technology is unknown, but it is sure to incorporate the Force somehow. The Aing-Tii showcase the unique ability to teleport their vessels instantaneously anywhere in the galaxy. They do not travel so much as they simply appear where they want to go. This technology means that they can easily navigate the Kathol Rift where other species struggle. We unfortunately have never been able to procure any Aing-Tii tech in order to learn more about it. We can only go off observations made in the field. There have been 2 students of the Aing-Tii whose accounts have been recorded for posterity. George Kardas, as mentioned, whose account was brought to us through Talon Card, and Jason Solo, the Jedi Knight who eventually assumed the mantle of Sith Lord Darth Caedus. It should be noted that Jason Solo purposefully left out many of the details about his time with the Aing-Tii, most likely in order to keep the knowledge that he learned at their feet a secret that only he could utilize. While Jason's account does in many ways match Kardas, it should also be taken with a very large dose of skepticism. According to both Kardas and Jason, the Aing-Tii have a view of the Force which transcends Jedi, Sith, or even the dichotomy between light and dark itself, the same dichotomy maintained by so many other Force orders. The Aing-Tii instead insist that the Force is a rainbow, a multicolored spectrum that contains light, dark, and much more between. They do not limit themselves to a simple answer of good or evil. Instead, they believe there is far more to the Force, and this belief is certainly reflected in the nuance of their actions when it comes to the wider galaxy. They are utterly merciless when it comes to engaging slaver ships, and yet they will rescue travelers lost in the Rift and transport them back to subtle space. They have an absolute distrust of outsiders, and yet they have taken outsiders as students multiple times. They stand by idealistic principles such as the sanctity of life, and yet they are all too willing to abduct outsiders for study or to achieve their wider goals. They are an order of paradox, inscrutable even to those lucky enough to be taken in by the monks for study. The Aing-Tii believe that the Force is a gift from those beyond the Veil. The Veil almost surely refers to the Kathol Rift, though we are only making an assumption when it comes to this fact. Who exactly those from beyond are is a mystery. Some xenologists believe that they are religious figures, gods, or some other personification of abstract ideas that the Aing-Tii worship. Others believe those from beyond are an ancient species that the Aing-Tii once had dealings with. Unfortunately, we have no real way to know for sure. The Kathol Rift and the area beyond is largely unexplored. The identity of those from beyond will likely remain a mystery until enterprising exploratory teams further investigate the area. What we do know is that the Aing-Tii are waiting for the return of those from beyond. They insist that they will one day return, though they refuse to elucidate on what will happen when that day comes. The Aing-Tii's unique view of the Force almost certainly ensures a mastery over a number of unique Force abilities, but unfortunately, as with much about the Aing-Tii, we know very little in this regard. Only 2 abilities have been openly recorded by the wider galaxy. The first, we have already covered. The Aing-Tii have the ability to teleport anywhere in the galaxy instantaneously. While their ships almost certainly combine this ability with technology in order to cover such vast distances, they are also capable of teleporting nearby objects into their hand as well. It is always surprising when they do. The act is normally accompanied by an audible pop as the item teleported displaces the air when it appears. It is astounding when you see it done the first time. There is no mistaking it. This power was mastered by George Kardas, and also by Jason Solo. It eventually found its way into the advanced training regimen for our own order through Grandmaster Luke Skywalker and his son, Jedi Master Ben Solo, who also managed to learn the ability after the defeat of Darth Caedus. You yourselves can attempt to learn this power here within our own halls. It is important to note, space-time is so dubbed because space and time are 2 sides of the same coin. The ability to move through space is the ability to move through time, and thus it should come as no surprise that the power to teleport has other interesting applications. One of these applications that we are sure the Aing-Tii are masters of is the art of flow walking. Flow walking is a difficult esoteric force power that allows the user to view the flow of time itself. They can peer backwards into the past with ease, viewing events that have occurred as if they were present themselves. They can also peer forward into the future, though what the Force user sees is often changing as the fickle river of time constantly changes its course. Flow walking can even be used to view events that are occurring in the present in an entirely different place, as if one was there. It is a potent power, one which should not be underestimated, and which explains much about how the Aing-Tii managed to remain informed about events in the wider galaxy without maintaining overt ties to other species. There are some conflicting reports that suggest flow walking may even be used to alter the past. Now, no Jedi research teams have ever confirmed this to be true, but some practitioners of the power have said that calling out to individuals in the past has elicited a response. Again, this has never been confirmed, but the potential to alter the past is so dangerous that I feel I must bring it up here. I do not believe I need to illustrate how truly insidious even the smallest potential change to the past is. Its faintest possibility means that flow walking is an ability whose teaching is heavily regulated by the High Council. You will need to apply with them should you wish to learn more about this mysterious power. Jason Solo knew how to flow walk, and his fall to the dark side is a storied and well-studied one. Who knows what temptations he had to endure when utilizing his ability to peer across time and space. I wish I had more to share with you about the mysterious Aing-Tii Monks, but unfortunately that is about the sum of our knowledge. They remain reclusive even to this day, isolated behind the Kathol Rift, waiting for those from beyond the veil to return to them at last. You are welcome to try to travel to the Kathol Rift to meet with them when your duties allow, but you should know that they are as likely to ignore you as anything else, even allowing that you can find them at all. The Angti are not the type to engage lightly with outsiders, but they are peaceful enough to all save slavers. The Kathol Rift is dangerous to navigate and easy to get lost in. Trust in the Force should you choose to go there. It will guide you where you need to go. That is all for today, my friends. As always, I am most grateful for your presence in my classroom. I hope this exploration of the various Force philosophies present throughout the galaxy has been useful in your own personal explorations of the Force. Remember, there are as many truths to the Force as there are hearts and minds in which the Force manifests. Our own Order's approach is not the only one, and we should be willing to adopt what works from others, in memory of what Grand Master Luke Skywalker taught us so long ago. I hope to see you all next time. Be well, esteemed masters. May the Force be with you all.